And we're taking a live look over US 127 if you plan on, hitting the roads today.
Driving to the last official softball game for WL Extra Innings.
Oh,
this is
yeah.
the road you probably could take eventually. That's the reason why I'm not the traffic anchor.
I know, we need the meteorologist up here like Justin to talk about that. We're a little directionally challenged.
Vertically.
We are vertically challenged. We're both standing on a box right now that gives us approximately 4 to 6 inches of height.
Yep. But hey, that's what we're here for.
In case you wanted to know the behind the scenes.
Exactly. We learn something new every day.
I learn something new every day. And we're hoping for a win tonight.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
There we go. Here we go. Or at least a score. Let's try.
We just need a few runs, yeah.
Let's try to score.
Oh, man.
Anyway, we have a wonderful day today here on Studio 10 where we will be getting a big old win because we are having our Olympic special.
Ooh,
so, of course, this Friday kicks off the one and only Paris 2024 Olympic Games, and it's all going to be on NBC. So we're super excited that we get to be the hub for all eyes on the world stage and cheering on our favorite athletes, getting to know athletes that are from the area. So ahead of all of that, we wanted to kind of have our own Olympic special. So throughout the hour,
it's so fun.
It is going to be fun. We're going to take you back in history about and kind of going over the Olympics, kind of giving you those fun facts that will kind of appreciate it a little bit more and see how much it's grown over the years and how things have changed. So, of course, Claudia will be diving into that. And then scattered throughout the show, we'll be introducing to you athletes that have Michigan ties and or are from Michigan that you can root for. Like one of the athletes are...
Keith Baldwin.
Yes. A good friend of mine.
Yes?
Yes. Yeah, he's huge. But also ones that are from the University of Michigan, a big athlete over there, but they're actually competing for Great Britain. Yeah, I know. So we can still get to know them and appreciate them from Michigan, but maybe even though they're not on TVSA.
That's they somewhat represent, but
Yeah, we can still root for them to get silver. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Team USA wants the gold.
No, but it's good to get to know the athletes and the names, and so that way, because sometimes what I love about watching the Olympics is when you turn on a sport, they're like, oh, I've never seen this before, and you kind of get attached to it. But then when you have a reason to watch, when you can actually root for, it kind of makes it more intense. So we're definitely excited to get you going into the athletes.
Yeah, preview, get the backstory on all of them.
Yes,
and,
definitely. As well as just to showcase how athletic these athletes are. Studio 10 had their own version of the Olympic Games. So we have the Studio 10 Olympics.
How'd that go?
You can tune into Studio 10 to see how we compare in terms of track and field events and archery. So
it sounds fun.
It's something. No, but it'll be good. It's good to really appreciate it, and it's nice too that Demmer over in East Lansing, Hazlitt-ish area. It's like on the cusp. Over in Meridian Township. They have Team USA, they have practices for the archery going on over there, so they know exactly what they're doing.
Wow.
So we might have shot from like 15 meters rather than 70 or 80 like the Olympians. But hey, it's good to get the basics down.
It is. Learn the basics so that when it comes time to watch the, Olympic events, you're like, I can kind of see. Yeah. And then you're like, yeah, that's why they're Olympians.
Yes, definitely. And so definitely tune in for that, as well as, sometimes, you're always looking for a reason to like host people over. Like football Sundays are always fun, or football Saturdays, tailgates. But what about something for the Olympics?
No,
so
that's true.
What's good about watching the Olympics is when you have themed food, a little watch party. So I have some good themed food that you can partake in and make that are good for the kiddos, but also good for us adults as well. So definitely tune in for that.
All right, wait, that's so exciting.
Yes,
I want to see what you have going on.
That'll be,
you always have your tasty treats, so I know it's going to be good.
It's no David's dish, but they're on theme-ish. So definitely tune in for that, as well as it is Take Me Home Tuesday. So we'll have Animal come in from the Capital Area Humane Society, who you can take home and maybe give them more than a gold medal, but a home.
Give them a little gold,
little
why am I
tag,
blinking? Thank
chain.
you.
Yes.
Dog tag, there you go. Or cat tag, or ferret tag. Or
whatever they bring in, we'll see. So definitely,
right.
definitely tune in. I'll start today at 3 p.m.
All right, thanks, Nicole, for joining. We're pumped up for the Olympic Games. She's going to run on down. All right, well.
We'll jog.
We'll jog. A little jog, take your time.
We'll do a long jump.
I like that.
Oh, if I don't ruin all this.
Oh, well, good. Well, again, you can catch Studio 10 at 3 o'clock, like Nicole was saying, in about 50 minutes here. And then you just have to stay up to date with them. If you want to plan any of those Olympic parties and you want to see the delicious food that Nicole has planned, check on their social medias, WILX Studio 10, or send them an email if you want to sponsor or advertise with them at studio10@wilx.com. Also, if you have any ideas about what's going on in the area, feel free to tune that in too. And you'll be able to find a lot more things coming up for the weekend because Justin, I know we got to hang on to the umbrellas a little bit longer, but this weekend it's looking good. If people want to like train for any sports or, try their own shot at any Olympic events,
Sure. I think, the big days, I'd say the least humid of the days are going to be Thursday through Saturday. Sunday, we get a little more humidity, so maybe that's more a pool beach day if you have the opportunity. They're all dry, those 4. It's today, well, really tonight, and then tomorrow we got some small chances for rain like we saw yesterday. Yeah. A lot of folks did avoid them. In fact, over in Delta Township area near where I live, didn't get a drop of rain yesterday, but if you were north of Jackson, north of Chelsea, well, you got into those very heavy downpours with pop-up storms. And so that's going to be kind of a similar scene this evening. And hopefully, depending on what your plans are, where you are able to either avoid or get those if you'd like to have them. Of course, we're not hurting for water or anything, still above normal for the month. And we are going to enter another dry stretch, but have plenty more rain chances next week, too. So get to enjoy some nice weather here at the end of the week before we get back to the wet weather. Rounding out July on a note that we all know and love, heat and humidity. Know and love? I don't know. Depends on who you are, but it's
not the humidity, but the heat.
Definitely going to have them both as we head into August to start off next week.
All right, so a little balance between the heat, humidity, and some of the rain showers that we're getting, but overall, looking pretty good.
Yeah, and fairly pleasant conditions, and really that's what's going on outside most places right now. Really great conditions around the state. US 127 there on the Meridian Company Skycam Network. You notice that we've got some blue skies out there. They look a little bit white, a little bit hazy, milky. That's because there's some very high wildfire smoke. Now that'll probably linger over the next couple of days, as we mentioned earlier, but not going to expect that to, at least at this time, play a major impact on our forecast. We don't really foresee a ton of this getting down to ground level. I know last summer we, of course, had lots of times when those Canadian wildfires would throw some smoke our way, and then if it was able to settle down, that would create some air quality issues. As for right now, we're not really expecting that to impact us, which is good, but you'll notice the skies look a little more hazy over the coming few days. And so that's what's going on right now. 81's the temperature. We likely warm at least a couple more degrees. I have the high of 84 this afternoon. We'll see if we get there. Satellite radar has popped a couple showers and storms once again off to the east in the state, much like yesterday. We may see 1 or 2 of those pop in our area as we head into the late afternoon here. The line of showers that we looked at earlier making its way across the lake, and as I mentioned at 11 a.m. and as we expect, a lot of this line moving towards us is breaking apart. It's holding together north of our area and south towards Chicago, but not so much right in the middle. And so we'll just see anything that comes through of the pop-up variety. Got 80 in Jackson, 81 most everywhere else. Charlotte, Mason, Hillsdale, Howell, all seeing those temperatures, as is Ann Arbor. But the humidity, once again, has factored in at times today. Now, we have had a little bit of a lull in action, so Lansing's actually dipped back into the 50s, which is nice. Same with Mason, St. John's. But you notice places like Coldwater, Ann Arbor, got a little more humidity in those places. So the muggy feel will come and go depending on where the rain is this evening. But a lot of us right now are back into that pleasant, comfy range for the time being. That may come up just slightly again this evening as any shower activity rolls in, and then maybe tomorrow a little bit more of the same across the area. So here's the Skycast Planner, which what we showed earlier, but this will hold true. We were mostly sunny, 78 at noon. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll likely be close to 83 with a mix of sun and clouds, and then those isolated showers or storms are possible as we head towards this evening. So here's a look at the hour-by-hour forecast. Once again, taking you through to about 4 p.m. You see a lot of us are still dry, but there are a few showers beginning to pop as that line continues to trek off our direction. We might see a few showers come through this evening. I don't think it'll be a washout, and I think a lot of folks managed to avoid this. We'll call it partly to mostly cloudy overnight, and then some clearing late, maybe some fog early tomorrow if the wind dies down, but it wouldn't be that much or anything to be concerned about. We start in the lower 60s, and we work back into the upper 70s tomorrow. Here's about 1 p.m. tomorrow. You can see a little bit of that rain activity. Now, I think here it's underdone by the model a bit. I think we'll have a little wider coverage And so a bit more rain in our forecast through the first half of our Wednesday, and maybe a pop-up shower late in the day. But there's our high, about 78, 79 degrees by the evening, and then we'll have a much drier weather forecast to look forward to round out the week. In fact, we can see the overnight lows go into the 50s, so a little more comfortable sleeping weather. Nice wake up, a lot less humidity on Thursday, and we'll get back in the afternoon here. We lose the temps off the map, but looks like into the upper 70s to near 80 with loads of sunshine. As we head into Thursday, we get even more still on Friday. Of course, any high wildfire smoke would just mean a little bit hazier, but as far as clouds at the surface, really not expecting a lot of those in the second half of the week, which is good news for us. So here's the temperature trend we'll look at for the next 10 days. Normal highs still about 83. We're close to that this afternoon. Then we take a slight step back. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all pretty close to 80 degrees. But we warm back up for the weekend, and then especially next week, we'll be upper 80s to near 90 on some days. And when you factor in the high humidity coming back, most of those days, really maybe even Sunday, but certainly Monday through Thursday next week, all those days, if they don't get to 90, probably feel like 90 when you factor in that humidity or a little warmer. We're also going to have shower storm chances in there too, and so we'll see that here in the 10-day. Once again, they got a little bit of that rain sandwich that you described.
Yes.
So got a, again, small chance for a shower storm this afternoon. Better chance probably comes closer to sunset or later. Wednesday, we get the showers out of here first half, 3/4 of the day. And then sunshine Thursday through the weekend looks pretty good for us. Next week, bring in the shower storm chances. Wednesday next week is the final day of July.
Ooh.
We go into Thursday to start off the month of August. Low's going to be near 70, highs in the upper 80s to near 90. Certainly going to be a warm stretch, going to have a lot of humidity. You'll definitely want to have the air conditioners running. Then maybe you can give them a little break here the tail end of this week. But even getting into the 80s, it's, toeing the line. It's all dependent on what you like, what you can tolerate. Maybe keep the windows open at night. You help cool your house down a little more. Close them up a little bit better during the day. And try to keep the curtains closed if you have any of those, as tough as that is. It's nice to let in the sunlight, but if you don't want the house to keep warming up, if the AC's off, otherwise if the AC's running, you don't mind it, and your wallet's not hurting too bad, then go ahead. Spread those drapes open and just stake in the sunshine, or maybe just head out to the back deck patio, go for a walk, something where you can get out and enjoy it without having to worry about the heating of the house. Otherwise, again, pretty good forecast here moving forward. Just got to get through a couple showers today, and even most of us, again, going to avoid the rain like yesterday. Tomorrow, I think a better chance for all of us to see at least something, even if it's brief, and then we'll get a nice break once again. So lucking out pretty well here in the month of July after that first 8-9 days of the month where we got lots of water.
Yeah.
But since then, we've been doing a lot better. And so the last 2 weeks, we've kind of, so to speak, sort of righted the ship as far as not flooding everything out. And so I think that's going to be a continued trend here. We'll see what next week brings, of course, as we round out the month. But there's still plenty of summer left, and so lots to enjoy. I mentioned this weekend's a really good one.
Yeah.
Next weekend, beyond the end of our 10-day, I think also going to be a really good one.
Okay, 3 weekends in a row.
Yeah, for the first weekend of August. So this past one was good. This coming one is good. The following one's probably good once we get through those rain chances. So that's 3 really nice summer weekends in a row that are likely all rain-free. There's not much more you can ask for, because we know this time of year, it's pretty easy to pop up some random showers and storms that seem to come out of nowhere and can maybe dampen your weekend plans a little bit. And so whether you plan on going north, whether you plan on hanging around, or whatever you want to do, getting outdoors is going to be a big thing to do this weekend and next, like it was this past weekend. So take advantage, enjoy the great Michigan summer weather. We all know, while I just mentioned there is a lot of summer left, these go by so quick.
Yeah.
And I mean, by the time you've passed them up, we're off and into the fall, which is also a great season in my opinion. But the people who don't like the colder weather, we're already past kind of the peak heat point of the summer. We're like in it right now.
Yeah.
The average highs are going to start before the month is over, actually going back down. Doesn't mean they'll get cold. Still going to be in the 80s through the end of July here, but
They're dropping.
We're 83 now. I think it's in like 4 or 5 days we go back to 82
Okay.
for our average high, which again, still 1 degree difference, but it's going to be going that way. Our days are getting shorter. I think past this weekend, we don't have any more 9 p.m., post 9 p.m. sunsets, and so that's
so sad.
time's running out on that too. And so soak it up while you can. Enjoy these weekends, make the memories, have a great time, and weather should be great for us for that. So look forward to it and enjoy. And once again, you can get First Alert Weather app notifications as well if you're not able to watch us on air, online, any of that stuff, which we'll have you covered on all those platforms too.
All right, well, you gave a nice breakdown, and I appreciate, too, that you mentioned the wildfire smoke, because I know we've received some questions about, you know, hey, it's supposed to be sunny, and we see some clouds, but you got the haziness in the sky. So, yeah, that's from the wildfire smoke from Canada. So that was, appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah, and that's what folks will notice. If you see over these next couple days, it'll be really high, kind of thin smoke. Like it's really it's the smoke from the wildfires more than it is the clouds. You can actually see out there right now. So you see those lower clouds out there, the little almost look like they're painted onto Andy's room in Toy Story or something.
Yeah.
Those out there, those are going to be closer to our surface level clouds. So those are going to be convection based clouds where the ground's heated, you get some moisture and the clouds form. Well, up above that, where you see kind of that backdrop where it looks a little more hazy or milky than it does clear blue, that's going to be your very high wildfire smoke. It's thinly concentrated. As I mentioned, right now, we don't expect it to have big impacts to our area as far as getting to the surface. I know last summer we dealt with that quite a bit. I don't think that's the case this time around. Fortunately, it looks like we're blocked enough where it'll stay high up in the atmosphere. And so as far as any of those chemicals, anything like that, right now, doesn't seem we have to worry about it. We'll, of course, update you if that changes, but it doesn't look like it's a big concern at this time, which is, of course, good news for us. So, again, get out there and enjoy this weekend. Take advantage. Yeah,
take advantage. Bonfire, Lansing Summer Concert Series, any of the other concert series, going to a pool, a lake. I know we were talking about Lake Lansing and you taking your jet ski out.
Maybe.
So, yeah, get your plans going.
It could be. You know, the birth of my son has, and I'm not upset about it, has postponed my usage of the watercraft. Haven't gotten it out this summer, but, hey, maybe this weekend's the one to do it. Got some decent weather, and we'll see. Alex and Jace can hang out on the shore, and I can go rip it up on the lake. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Show your son what he can look forward to when he grows up.
I know. God, I hope that thing's still around. Anyway, we'll see. Ride it like you stole it is how we like to live by. So I didn't steal it. I paid for it. You know. Anyway.
Don't expose yourself. I was gonna say.
Anyway, no, all good. All good. I'm official and everything. So
that's good.
We're all good. Yeah.
Maybe we'll catch you on the water. All right.
Sounds good. Yeah.
We'll see you at Studio 10.
Yes, perfect. Yeah,
First at 4. Make sure to tune in. And I'm going to bring up what's coming up today on First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news. You can see Justin for Studio 10, and that is coming up in about 40 minutes here. So, pulling up, in place of Mid-Michigan Matters today, we are running a story instead on fast food wars. So, as you know, a lot of those prices, when you go to the fast food chains, they've increased the prices, and now they're trying to create more budget-friendly meal options for people, whether they're going through the drive-through or, you know, just stopping in to pick up their fast food meals. So seeing what the different fast food chains are doing in order to attract the consumers back and continuing to give them the business. We're going to be talking about all of their little strategies coming up in place of Mid-Michigan Matters today. And then coming up, News 10 at 5, with City Council approving the sale of its current location. What's next for Lansing City Hall? Our News 10 Aaron Bowling shares what we can expect, and that is coming up News 10 at 5. And then on News 10 at 5:30, companies and businesses are still trying to recover from last week's IT failure that effectively shut down airlines, businesses, and companies that we depend on every day. Now, while the disruption wasn't the work of cyber terrorists, it brings another vulnerability to the forefront of attention. So our consumer technology reporter, Jamie Tucker, says the cause of the failure might be an even bigger concern, and that is coming up today on News 10 at 5:30. And then News 10 at 6, it's the first weapons court in Michigan, and it's getting guns off the street. Tonight in a special report, our Ann Emmerich takes you inside the courtroom for an inside look at this new approach to justice that is giving some kids caught with guns a second chance. So again, coming up on News 10 at 6, don't miss Ann's special report on the first weapons court in Michigan. So that is what we have coming up today on News 10. Make sure that you're tuning in. And we also have Mars Anderson here to share what he has coming up. Mars, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. We're both rocking the black today. We're matching on the desk. All right, look at that. Oh, you got the haircut too. It looks good. Looks good.
Happy to be back at the desk. I love being at the desk.
That's good. We like having you. What do you got coming up today?
So, of course, we're talking back to school. So, of course, are parents feeling the heat of inflation, you know? But then also, what are those alternatives? So, of course, we know backpack giveaways are really big around the U.S. Of course, I've had a few when I was in school. So, how they are relieving some of that stress from parents, but then also kind of what parents are expecting to pay. So, I talked to a parent who has 5 kids.
Wow.
Now, the benefit to her, she says, is that she has these backpack giveaways, but then, of course, 2 of her kids are working. So, speaking of, I believe Mikey 23 may be an Ann's story. Previously talking with him about what he does, kids are able to work in his program, the Mikey 23 Foundation, and 2 of her kids are in that program, and they're able to now you know, take some of that money to pay for their own school clothes, things like that. So a little bit of everything is kind of going on with this story, from her having to take care of her young 3 to her older 3, and then of course some solutions like that backpack giveaway, and maybe some tips. I'm hoping to find some tips that are not too like, oh, well, I wouldn't consider myself doing that, like I saw people were saying. And I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of thrifting. I'll say that. But some people may want to thrift, or, you know, giving your kids, and I think that's a great piece, is giving your kids that opportunity to shop for themselves.
Yeah.
Because, of course, if I only give you $100 for school, which is not enough, but if I give you that, you're going to learn how to make it stretch. So it's a lot of stuff going on in this story. So I'm trying to piece it all together and deliver something during News 10 at 5:30.
All right, News 10 at 5:30.
Yes.
Make sure you're tuning in. Yeah, I know there's been a lot of conversations over back to school, and I know we're busy with the Olympics coming up and a lot of other things, but yeah, a lot of people talking about back to school, and you're seeing it in the stores all around us. So making sure, like, with the inflated prices, as you're talking about, how can you best you know, make the most out of your money, stretch it like you said. And then I like the added layer that you have of having the children, the students figuring out what they want to do with that too, because I think that's a great learning tool and experience for them.
Well, I think for like you and I'm sure you probably felt the same way, like going back to school, you're like, oh my goodness, I need the latest and greatest type of deal. And especially when you're in high school. So I think it's that whole deal of, as a parent, you want to deliver, you know, the things to your kids that they want, but then also give them an opportunity to say, well, hey, if you want the new Jordans, you want the new Nikes, you want the North Face, you want all that, you need to go ahead and earn that money so you can get the things that you want. So
yeah. Well, it's also interesting too, seeing what you would need at like an elementary school level versus middle school, high school, and then of course going off to college, you need all different furniture and, you know, room and board, tuition, the electronics. Well, yeah, because a lot of them too, moving off of, you know, notebooks, and then going for like the
iPads.
Yeah, the iPads and the Google, all of that. So yeah, the technology definitely ramps up the price.
I would say the nice piece about that is that, you know, she said the Lansing school districts, they provide all those things. So the tough part is if you are going to college, luckily none of her kids are going to college just yet, but when it is time to go to college, I know for me, my first time in college, I had the most oldest laptop that you could probably imagine. I think it's still in my closet actually here in Lansing.
Does it still work?
Yes.
You power it on still?
Does. I don't power it on, but I got a scholarship and I was able to get me a brand spanking new one, which is not new at this point. I want to say it's a couple of years old, but it still works like a charm, perfect. It does not delay it at all. So it's maybe from like right before the pandemic, and it's still going strong because I haven't really put anything illegal or anything. So
well, that's good.
It's working like, but you know, like I've downloaded some music actually, so you know that
you gotta get the music.
Yeah, so hey, but don't tell anybody about that. We love music.
Just shares it with everyone. There we go. Don't share what he just shared with all of you. I love that. All right, News 10 at 5:30?
Yes, News 10 at 5:30.
All right, Mara's going to tell you all how you can hopefully budget for this upcoming school year. I know that's a lot.
Nothing to say. Yeah, inflation is real.
That is
Shrinkflation too.
It is. Oh, I don't want to. I guess I'll pull this up one more time for everyone so you can see what else we have coming up. Again, one more time during our 90 minutes of news. You'll see Mars again, News 10 at 5:30 today, talking about back to school supplies, and also how a mother of 5, you said mother of 5, is going about getting those school supplies, how she's able to budget all of that, and how she's having her other children kind of also put forth action and making sure that they're ready for the school year themselves, you know, gaining that responsibility. That's huge. So that is what we have coming up during our 90 minutes. And I do also want to show our You're Not Alone mental health series, because if you are going through a hard time, you know, finances can cause a lot of frustrations. And so whether you're facing financial struggles, whether that is depression, anxiety, maybe you're anxious for the upcoming school year, and maybe you're not even a student, you're a parent, or you're a parent and a student or a teacher, anything like that. No matter what you're feeling, know that you're not alone, and there are resources out there for you. All you have to do is scan that QR code on your screen, and you'll be brought to our website, wilx.com, for more of those mental health care professional resources, people that you can connect with when you feel ready to be vulnerable and hear your story and to get that guidance, or just have someone listen and support you. Always a great tool to have. So again, feel free to scan that with your QR code no matter what you're going through, and know that you're not alone. And something else I want to mention is that since we have the Paris Olympics getting started this Friday, July 26th, you heard Nicole talking about all the excitement going into it, and you've seen our countdown. We are 3 days away from the Paris Olympics. We have some programming changes that I do want to let you know about so that you're all aware when you're tuning into our newscast and you're like, where can I watch News 10? You're going to be seeing the Paris Olympics streamed on our channel 10.1, our main channel. And because of that, we're moving some of our other newscasts around to different channels. So I'm going to pull it up, take note of this. Pulling it up first and foremost, News 10 Today at 11 and First at 4 will both be extending from half an hour to an hour-long newscast. Okay, so News 10 Today at 11, First at 4, extending to a full hour newscast. That'll be moved off of 10.1 and be put on our Heroes and Icons channel on 10.3. Then what you're seeing at the bottom is for News 10 at 5 and News 10 at 5:30. That is getting moved to our Me TV channel on 10.2. And that same thing applies for Jeopardy. I know a lot of people like looking forward to that. So Jeopardy, along with News 10 at 5 and 5:30, will be on Me TV, our 10.2 channel. So just make sure that you are keeping note of all of those changes as we approach this Friday, and then continuing on with the rest of the Olympic coverage, right? We want to make sure that you're in the know and what to expect throughout the day. But those are the changes that you can expect here on News 10. I know we had a question yesterday from Chris, and Chris, I see you're joining us today, so hello from East Lansing. I know you asked about News 10 at 6 and our other newscasts as well. So News 10 today, News 10 at 6, 10, and 11 at night. Those should all be good. I will pull up one more time where you can watch News 10 today at 11 and First at 4 on channel 10.3 moving forward during the duration of the Paris Summer Olympics. And then we will return to normal. But these are the changes in the meantime. And then News 10 at 5 and 5:30 and Jeopardy will be on Me TV channel 10.2. If there are any other changes, we'll make sure to keep you updated both on air and online and give you that warning for anything that you may need to know. But as you head out the door today, like Justin said, you want to have that umbrella with you for any of those scattered showers and storms that could be passing through the area. So a live look over Michigan State University, because again, Chris, I know you're joining us. And from yesterday, this is a lot more of a vibrant image over Michigan State University on in East Lansing. So it's looking better out there. Again, if you see some of those kind of hazy, milky skies, it's because of the wildfire smoke from Canada. And you're seeing a better glimpse into that wildfire smoke in the downtown Jackson Skycam. But other than that, hang on to your umbrellas throughout the day. Again, those scattered showers and storms coming by around 4 o'clock tonight or this evening, and then some of them coming in tonight and then tomorrow on Wednesday. So just make sure you're keeping note of all of those changes. So you're preparing for any commutes you may have, any outdoor activities. We just want to make sure that you're in the know so you can best prepare your day. I know that weather can kind of get your plans all funky if you're not prepared enough, and especially depending on what you have going on. So again, just make sure that you're tuning in to News 10. Studio 10 gets started here in just under half an hour, followed by First at 4, and you can watch Justin Bradford for your first alert forecast, and then Andy Provenzano will be in for our 90 minutes of news. So make sure you're keeping in touch with us here on News 10 or tuning in to us for the latest local news updates, for anything else going on across the world, the country, you name it. There's been a lot going on in the news this week, and it's only Tuesday. So we're going to keep it going throughout the rest of the week. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great rest of your day.